No matter how important you believe you are, Sigma males will cut you off without hesitation if you cross their boundaries. These independent men don't follow social norms, and they certainly won't follow yours. While some people may put up with bad behavior to maintain harmony, Sigma males have zero tolerance for certain behaviors. Your status is meaningless if you cross their lines, but what are they? The first of these 7 things that Sigma men would never put up with is emotional blackmail or guilt tripping. These guys just cannot stand being made to feel bad about something that isn't their fault. Picture someone attempting to manipulate your words or behavior to make you feel awful. It's like a game of emotional tag where you're constantly the target. When someone engages in emotional blackmail or guilt tripping, they're playing a cunning game to achieve what they want in the hopes that you'll give in to stop the negative emotions. Behavior may seem complex, but it's really an attempt to manipulate your emotions so you do things you might not want to. For example, a friend who only acts depressed when they need something from you in the hopes that you'll feel sorry for them is unfair and not based on true friendship. Using emotions as a puppet master to manipulate is obviously manipulation. For a Sigma, honesty and trust are 2 of the most crucial qualities, thus anything that attempts to undermine them should be treated with a stern no. Just because someone wants something doesn't mean they may use your emotions like toys. While most people might give in to this kind of emotional pressure, Sigma men will cut it off right away, which is why many people perceive them as tough or emotionless. However, once they see the strings, they cut you off right away. Number 2, with backhanded compliments or subtly implied sarcasm concealed behind fake kindness. Since Sigma males are very skilled at reading others, these cunning remarks are clear warning indicators. The backhanded compliment is difficult to recognize and many people are unaware of it. It may seem to be praise, but it leaves others perplexed or uncertain. When someone says, "You're smart for someone with no degree," they quickly decipher the hidden message and will not hesitate to cut such people off because they don't focus on the negative and they definitely don't like it when their success is diminished by subtle insults. Dealing with someone who covers up mean remarks with politeness is like walking on shaky ground. Some people see Sigma guys as secretive or distant because they comprehend what is going on. They simply refuse to cooperate, and when they witness someone attempting to take advantage of them, they will end the conversation and distance themselves from the individual. This is a classic Sigma tactic. They don't have to go to that extent, they are adept at spotting false behavior, regardless of how attractive the package may seem. While most people might put up with these minor slights in order to maintain harmony or a relationship, Sigma males will not think twice about cutting off those who treat him disrespectfully because if they do, they are only encouraging more of the same behavior. For this reason, Sigma males will not put up with any disrespect from anyone, no matter how mild or well-intentioned it may seem. Number 3 are opportunists, the people who seem to disappear into thin air during difficult times only to reappear when it suits them, regardless of how smoothly they attempt to be. They are the ones who only show up when they need something, so it's very trusting to deal with those who suddenly consider you their best friend when they need a favor. They don't have time for these one-sided connections, and Sigma guys will never put up with being used like a tool. They also won't entertain them. In a world where everyone is preoccupied with their own drama, genuine connections can be uncommon, but what happens when your so-called friend suddenly appears out of the blue to offer assistance or advice and then disappears again? It feels more like a transactional interaction than a friendship. There is no true bond here. Sigma values relationships based on mutual respect and trust rather than convenience. Sigma man is quick to see dishonesty and views this kind of buddy as little more than a ghost that lurks solely in the shadows, seeking personal benefit without providing anything in return. People sometimes ask why Sigma men seem distant or even unapproachable, and the answer is that they meticulously cultivate connections, holding fast to those who show sincerity and firmly closing the door on everyone else. The open book of inconsistency is easy to read. When faced with phony friendships that only exist under certain circumstances, the Sigma man won't react with bitterness. Instead, he will just leave and let the phony friend to continue. No games, no second guesses, and no tolerance for people who don't contribute to reciprocal relationships diminish. There are 4 persons in the background who are unable to appreciate these men's simple no. Not appreciating or respecting this reaction is a certain way to see the door shut between you and them. No is more than just a word, it's a whole boundary packed in 2 letters. This lack of regard transforms a simple remark into a conflict of wills. Some people simply cannot accept rejection because they believe that persistence will override the first response. However, persistence can quickly turn into disrespect, undermining the principles of freedom and blatantly ignoring what has been started explicitly. Saying no shouldn't be met with coercion or negotiation, rather, it's a matter of understanding boundaries and maintaining personal space. Sigma males don't mind standing their ground and repeating their initial response, but that doesn't mean they'll do so repeatedly. Once they say no, they mean it, and there's no need to explain or defend themselves beyond that. Most people might try to defend their actions or feel bad for not caving in. It's not about that friend who asked you out and you choose to stay home, rather, it's about people who question or stomp on your personal choices. They may try to coerce you, manipulate you, or even get upset with you for refusing to comply. Sigma males will not hesitate to cut off contact with anyone who cannot comprehend that no is a complete sentence. Number 5. Indirect communication or passive-aggressive conduct. Nobody loves it when people use gestures or clues to convey their meaning rather than being explicit. For example, you could see someone behaving irritated, but when you ask them what's wrong, they remain grouchy and say nothing. This is passive-aggressive behavior, where someone expresses negativity indirectly rather than directly talking about what's bothering them. It's like playing a game where you have to guess what the other person is thinking or feeling, which can be frustrating and even unfair. Instead of confronting issues head-on, passive-aggressive people may give the silent treatment, make sarcastic remarks, or act spitefully in the hopes that you'll notice their dissatisfaction without them having to express it aloud. It's as though they expect you to read their mind, which is not only unrealistic but emotionally taxing. Sigma males don't tolerate this kind of behavior because it leaves everyone in the dark. If someone can't express their opinions freely, they are not someone Sigma males want to have in their circle because it's difficult to believe anything they say. Imagine being at work and having someone with a higher title treat you like you don't know anything. Most people might put up with it to keep their job or avoid conflict. Sigma men struggle with holding their mouth. Even if they choose not to speak at the time, you can be sure they will remember it. Although they may be courteous and professional, these men are not impressed by status or power and do not feel the need to bow down to those who possess it. They will silently observe and take note, but they will not allow it to pass. It's more about the reciprocity of respect than it is about harboring resentment. If someone is incapable of exhibiting even the most fundamental human decency, then they are not deserving of respect in return. Sigma guys may even give up, particularly if they are not bound by financial commitments. In their opinion, quitting a position where they are treated poorly is not a loss, rather, it is the beginning of something better. Sadly, many businesses ignore this conduct from superiors and lose important team members as a result. Number 7 is talking over them or interrupting them often. Picture yourself expressing something significant while deep in concentration when someone interrupts and starts talking over you constantly. How annoying would it be to Sigma guys? This is a major indicator of disrespect. They take what they say seriously and want others to do the same. Frequently interrupting or talking over someone shows that they don't appreciate what they have to say, while Sigma males prefer discussions where everyone has an opportunity to speak and listening is reciprocal. If they are interrupted by someone who tends to dominate the conversation, they will quickly lose interest and seek an exit. They would rather step back and keep the peace than get into an argument where no one is really listening. Sigma males may initially try to brush it off, but if the behavior persists, they expect others to listen when they speak, just as they do for others.